got Vaughn here.
Oh, I forgot Vaughn!
Oh,
I'm so sorry, Mr.
never
Vaughn.
forgot Vaughn.
It's on. Stay on. Yeah.
I can't hear it.
Oh my
He did
God.
that. I want you to know, we rehearsed that.
Thank you. You saved me. Vaughn, I'm so sorry because I think of you all the time.
I love you anyway, Lolita.
I know you
It's
do.
okay.
He has a
Well,
solid self-esteem, so it's
That's right. Well, see, I told him I was thrown off because this whole panel was men, and told the ladies, just let's give you help. So that was my way of starting off.
Oh, whoa.
So, yeah,
You gotta control this guy.
yeah.
He's out. Here, let me flip the switch back here.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Thanks.
Battery's
So,
dead.
anyway, thank you all for being here today. How's everybody's week going so far? Weekend. Yay. How many of you have been here since yesterday? All day? All right.
Are we tired? We'll fix that.
So I'm going to ask a few questions myself of these men up here. So we'll start at the end with Vaughn.
Is Vaughn here?
Vaughn is
Vaughn's not
here.
here.
Vaughn, are you here?
No, I'm not here.
Yes. So I'm just curious. I'm going to ask you all the same question. If you had not gone into show business, you weren't an actor and a musician, and all the wonderful things that you are, what would you have chosen to do with your life?
Well, you know, when I was a teenager, I worked in the orange groves, and I loved that. I got to spray oil all over everything. I came home. I don't know if you know what smudge pots are, but it's burning oil. And I came home and it was all over me. I'm sure it's still in my lungs. But I did get over that. And if I were going to do anything else for a living, I think I'd be a master carpenter. That's what I would do. I built all the furniture in my kitchen and most of the furniture in my office, and I built 3 decks at my home. I just screwed my leg up for the first time because I was doing a lot of stuff on my knees.
That's because you're old, Vaughn, because you're old.
Yeah, I'm not supposed
I
to do
wouldn't
that
admit
anymore.
to that.
Yeah, now I hire people to do that. So anything that's got to be on my knees or up high. So I don't like heights anymore very much. And I don't like being that low very much either anymore.
Well, get up off your knees.
Yeah, I will.
So what about you,
that's what I
Gary?
do.
What about me? Sorry?
What would you have done if you weren't?
I was going to be a doctor before I got shanghaied by some actress and dragged into an acting class. So I would have been an emergency room doctor. And to assuage my drive to help people and use my medical skills, such as they were, I became a ski patroller. For 17 years, I was a ski patroller up in California. Thank you, Wrightwood, California, Mountain High, and first responders out there. Yes, I think I would have gone into emergency medicine, maybe an ER doctor, or at least, ski patrol. I did that a long time, but a paramedic or something like that. I had a lot of pleasure from helping people, basically, and it's very dramatic. You know, you got a declining situation after trauma, and it's a race against the clock to stop somebody from bleeding out or going into shock, and treating for all that. So I would say first responder or a ER doctor.
Cool. Yay. How about you, Mr. Ryan?
Well, originally, acting was not my first choice. Carpentry was, and I worked diligently with one of the most brilliant master carpenters for 3 years.
Vaughn Armstrong.
And he looked at me one day, and he said, "Bob, you've been with me 3 years now, and I really like you. He said, but I know you want to be a good carpenter, but Bob, you're never going to be a good carpenter. And you can stay with me as long as you want, but I think while you're staying with me, you should look for something else to do. And it was like, and I knew I was pretty good at acting, so I got into that. But the other thing is, I come from a family of lawyers. My father was a lawyer, my brother was a lawyer, my sister was a lawyer. I had uncles who were judges and lawyers, so I probably would have been trapped into that.
Well, I'm glad you did.
Been miserable.
Yes, exactly. How about you, Andy?
Yeah, Gary, my son and granddaughter, they're in emergency medicine.
Nice.
And the granddaughter's a trauma nurse, and she's doing God's work. She really is.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anybody's ever been injured or anything and come under the care of an emergency room doctor,
Exactly.
it's something impressive.
I probably would have been an English teacher. If it had been a really small New England town, I'd probably also be the French teacher and the guy who puts on the plays for the kids. That's probably what I would have done.
Yeah.
You know, the first thing that I liked to do when I was a kid was draw. I like to draw. I didn't know where that came from, but I spent a lot of time drawing. And then I kind of dropped that and wanted to be a drummer. That's what I wanted to be, a drummer. Whenever, no. But whenever I would listen to music, which I love, it was always the drums that I was listening to. And I had a drum set. The police came to my house a lot. Okay. So, maybe I would have done that, or wound up asking people paper or plastic. I don't know. Maybe a teacher. I don't know. But acting actually saved me. I mean, it just kind of happened, and you go with it. And I found great joy in it. I'm up here with some of the great character actors of our day.
But I gotta tell you,
Yes.
I also was going to be an artist when I was in school. The teachers kept giving me stuff saying careers in art, but the acting bug hit me like it hit you, and I just liked that a better way to spend most of my time.
And I was very lucky that near me was an incredible theater department at a small college that really was very pivotal in me being here.
Casey Biggs.
Right?
Thank you.
Except me.
Except you.
I was very interested in very exotic things when I was young. I wanted to be an archaeologist, or I always wanted to be a pitcher, but I can't pitch on baseball. I wanted to be a dancer, but then I could sing, and I played football in high school. And I thought, you know what, I'm not going to be a professional football player. So I quit, and I could sing, and I started acting in high school. And I realized I got to do all the leading roles in high school. And if you notice, leading men don't dance. You notice that? If you're any of the leading musicals, the leading guy never gets to dance. Isn't that a bummer?
Because that happens.
Well, I got stories about this, but you should see the other guy. But I started so early in high school, I never looked back. And, all of us up here have been extraordinarily lucky to have been bitten by that bug early and then have the opportunity to do it. Because let's face it, artists, visual artists or kind of artists we are, we're all storytellers. And that's what it is. So we learn to be storytellers, and our society needs storytellers now. But there we jolly well are. And what about you, Lolita?
What would I have been if I hadn't gotten the acting bug and ended up in production? I wanted to be an actress from the time I was 3 years old, so I honestly don't have an answer to that.
There we are.
So I don't know. A dancer, maybe? Still in the arts? Thank you for asking.
Yes.
We've all been very lucky up here on the stage to have been able to travel the world, thanks to all of you fans of this show.
And what did you say today, Vaughn? You've been to 29 countries because of this show?
29 countries.
Well, that's what I
Looking for work.
Yes. That's what I was kind of curious from each of you is been the favorite place you've been able to go with this group and some place that maybe you still haven't gotten to that you'd love to still get to. Vaughn, can I start with you?
Sure. Armstrong is a Scottish name. We were Viking raiders of the Scottish border, cattle thieves, and we just stayed there. And I've never been to Scotland. I
Yeah,
would
let's
like
do
to
a
go to
convention in
to see
Scotland.
some of my ancestry.
Watch out! You are one of the renegades that could be waiting for you at the border. You know, for what your family did.
I can take them.
So Scotland is where you want to go. What's the
I would like to go to Scotland.
Where is the favorite place you've been?
Well, Spain was a lot of fun. Very nice people and a beautiful, beautiful place. I loved Italy. Germany is always a hoot. There was this little island on one of the cruises that we went on, and we took school supplies because these kids were literally climbing up in palm trees to get lunch for coconuts, throwing the coconuts
On this
down.
past cruise, this recent cruise?
No, this was another one it started in Hawaii, but they had to go out of the country because they were Norwegian lines, and we went to this tiny little place. We got off the boat, and the guys are doing the dance, you know, with the grass skirts. And they really
Could you sample? Could you expose? I'd like to see a
Please
small
don't.
demonstration.
We're like the Klingon dancing.
You're not supposed to say that.
What
Yeah.
Vaughn doesn't mention is that he was also kicked out of 29 countries.
Just for dancing.
That's right. How about you, Gary?
What was the question?
Where's the favorite place you've been able
Favorite
to go
place?
through this organization and then where would you still like to get to go?
Ooh, that's a long question. One of my favorite places. I did 10 weeks in Rome, Italy. Stayed at the Via Veneto, if anybody knows that place. Beautiful, beautiful. 10 weeks in this 1,000-year-old country, city, and every day driving to work, and coming back, I passed the Colosseum, Colosseo, and it was the most fascinating trip I've ever been on. And
Was this a 10-week convention?
10 week, not on is the question about convention?
Yes, it was.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hey man, what a
Wow.
convention that would be.
10 weeks?
Damn.
We'd be killing each
yeah, I
other.
know. Okay, I bought a small state with the money that. No. Rome. I've never been to a convention at Rome. No. I'll tell you what. Germany was Bonn. Germany was FedCon. A wonderful, wonderful convention, and wow, those people. They spend a lot of money on us American actors, and that was an awesome trip because at the tail end, my wife and I hopped on a train and went to Paris. So I'd like to do that. What was the tail end of the question?
You've answered it. You want to go to
I've
Rome?
answered no.
Yep.
For the lightning round, no. Yeah.
Thank you.
I just love world travel. So.
How about you, Bob?
We've all been to a lot of countries, and they're all special in a lot of different ways. One of the great ones was Australia because we went on a tour of Australia. We went to all the things, and I still love America to do conventions. And all over. I've done conventions all over, and where I would like to go to is, and I mean this, I would love to go to the Ukraine and do a convention there.
That would be nice.
Yeah, so I love them all. I really do. I mean, best food is in Italy, the Italian conventions. The England is like going back home, some faraway home. Germany is really interesting. It's more dramatic, considering my family and in my wife's history and so forth. But it's like, they're all extraordinary, and every place I go to, I learn something about myself and my prejudices and my, ideas about what the world is, because we get so kind of tamped down and narrow as Americans in terms of what the rest of the world is up to. Anyway, yeah, I mean, and these conventions have changed my life. They really have, and it actually even doesn't matter where it is, because for me, the main event is meeting the people. I mean, the sightseeing is really nice, the food is nice, but it's meeting the people and being with the people and trying to be human with you all, and that's a good thing for me.
Is there a place you've never been to travel that you'd still like to go, convention or not?
Yeah, I want to go to places like where I grew up. I want to go to New Hampshire, or Connecticut. I want to go to places that I like a lot, like Seattle and Portland, where my family, my daughter and family live and stuff. Those places where I've never been. But I'll go wherever you send me.
It's all in my hands. Jeff?
Well, the consensus seems to be falling in the Italy category here
Yes.
quite a bit. I mean, just simply because the people are lovely, the climate is lovely, the food is absolutely incredible, and the history is so deep. So I really loved going to Italy. And where would I want to go that I haven't? The first thing that popped into my head is Perth, Australia. I looked at a map once, and it said the Mediterranean climate around the world. Okay, so obviously the Mediterranean, California, and Perth, Australia. And I would imagine the beaches are pristine and uncluttered like they are here. I would just think that would be a kind of heaven.
Yes. Bob and I were there with JG, and it was amazing.
One thing about Perth, I've got to say, when I went there, I got out and I spent like just a couple of days there, and I went, this is Los Angeles in 1932. And I mean, without the Depression. I figured if I was a young man and I was going around the world for a place to stay or start my life, Perth would be it, because it's so amazing. Beaches, people live on the beaches, and it's like, doesn't cost anything to live on the beach. It's like Malibu in the 1920s and 30s. And I knew some of the older actors, who used to, buy their houses in Malibu for $1,500 for the land without the house.
Yeah.
How old are you, for Christ's sake?
No, the older actors I worked with as a young actor, like
Did
Nan
you say-
Martin,
did
Nan
you-
Martin and her
did-
husband. Anybody know Nan Martin?
Sure.
No. Did you say older actors or over actors? Because there's no over actors up here.
But I gotta tell you, in a lot of these places we go, we're spending time with the fans of this franchise. And there's no better group of people.
Absolutely.
Love
You're
each
not
other.
fans, you're friends.
So
Respect each other.
Casey?
Yes, what was the question? No. The show is a gift that keeps on giving. I mean, we have all been to so many extraordinary countries. This one that we live in being right up on the top. And I have to say, kudos to creation, because how many years have we been coming here? They have delivered for us and for you guys really extraordinary shows, and I want to give thanks to those guys to do it. But the place I would probably like to go is, And by the way, I have gone, I was in Australia. I was on the plane longer than I was in Australia for a convention. And that was special. But I would like to go to New Zealand to do one. I think that would be a blast.
It is a blast. New Zealand is a wonderful place. I worked there. It's glorious.
That was at Peter, what's his name, movie, right?
What's his name? Jackson. Yeah.
Carry on.
Yes, carry on. We're going to open it up to our lovely fans now. So you've been very patient over there in the red, so please ask away.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know how much time it was normal to stand here. This is a question for Andy Robinson. Mr. Robinson, you recently released an audiobook. What was it, the process of recording that audiobook like, and to read and perform your own words? What was that experience?
First of all, thank you, fans. Thank you, fans. You're the guys who did that. And I can't remember even that one woman at that one convention. I don't remember anything anymore, except my lines. I remember my lines. Yeah, and so it was like a long time coming. And it was a joy to do. It was like playing Garrick again without the makeup. And I put those earphones on, and I got into a little booth, and I had the text in front of me, and it's like the world went away. And I went to all these places, and it was like a joy. And it came out, it was released 3 days ago, I believe. I'm ordering mine from Amazon tonight.
Was that a Stitch in Time that you did?
Stitch in Time, yeah.
I loved, Andy came up to me on the set one time. Andy came up when he was writing in the set, he said, "What's Damar's full name?" I said, "I don't know. Make it up," and you did.
Yeah, I made him, Anyway, so yes, and the process was wonderful, and really gratitude, kudos to you guys.
Thank you. Over here.
Hi, I was wondering if you've been able to, through your long and storied careers, been able to form any long-term relationships or friendships with other actors or even crew?
Yes, that's a great question. You can kind of tell they don't
How long
like
you
each
been
other.
married?
I've been married for we lived together for 3 years first, but I've been married for 45 years. And
How about that? Let's hear it for it.
I'm still not sure it's going to work out quite. But
She was an actress, wasn't she, when you met her?
yes.
There you go.
And it has been the best 5 years of my life.
But this show, I have to say, the show that our show was over in '99, I guess. I mean, how many years? That's 30 years. We're celebrating this event, and we've known these guys for 30 years, and these guys have become some of my closest friends on the planet. And it was a gift that the show gave to us, don't you think?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it seems like you could not see each other for a year or two, but it doesn't matter. It's like it was yesterday when you get together, right?
Well, in the theater, you have a company, or you have an ensemble of actors, and you work and you strive and you bond over time and over experiences. And the closest thing to that in film and television is my experience on Star Trek. It's like being a member of a theater troupe. Oh, someone has opened the, is that the Zoom? What is that?
Pardon me, I was breakfast burrito acting up on me. I'm sorry about that.
I mean, I've been married for close to 54 years with the same woman. Yeah, and it's like, I mean, we're humans, for God's sakes. I mean,
You're a human.
Well, I'm not going to pursue that. That's going to take me down a road where I'll get into trouble. Yeah.
Thank you for your question. I'm not sure they answered it, but thank you. Yes, over on that side.
Hello, my question is for Gary and for Andy. Mr. Grant, it was
Yes.
in the mid-'80s.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Robinson, it was in the late '80s that both of you have been in something I like to put in my DVD player over and over again. I love it almost as much as I love Star Trek. What was it like working with Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd?
Oh, wow. Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd.
They were actors, Gary. They were actors in the TV show.
Yes, yes, yes. I heard. Now it was a pleasure to work with them both, but I heard all sorts of stories about how they didn't get along and all that. But I saw no friction when I worked with them. But it was great fun, especially Willis. Willis was he's a madman, and he has this annoying proclivity to taking over like he's the director and just offering up bits and stuff. And I'm old school. I say, yeah, hey, you know, sometimes the best ideas come from the guy who's emptying the trash or the guy who's doing the craft services. And I say, yeah, I'll go with your idea if it works, and then then I'll take credit for it. But it was fun and challenging. He's sort of an alpha guy, and he just kind of shoves the director to the side and takes over. And I'll try anything. Whatever works there's no set way to go about filming a drama or a comedy. There's no set way to do it. It's whatever works is what you go with. What about you?
No, it was a question to you,
Gee, well, okay.
Andy Robinson.
Oh, Andy?
Speaking.
You worked with Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd also.
Yes, I did. It was weird. It was weird because I played this guy who was this weird guy. Surprise, surprise.
Was it moonlighting? It was moonlighting, right?
Moonlighting, yeah. And it was behind the screen. And all you saw was my shadow, the outline of my shadow. I had lines and so forth. And so our rehearsals and our interactions were minimal, to say the least. Is there a message here? Oh, there's a message here. Okay. Fatjo Robinson.
Thank you very much.
No, I can't take him any place. Anyway, yeah. That's myself. And I'm sticking to it.
Thank you. Yes, over here.
Hi, so I am a high school teacher, and my question to y'all is there a teacher who has inspired you, just in general? The answer can also be no, because bad teachers do just as much to a person as good teachers do. Thank you.
That's a great question. Casey, you want to start?
Teachers, yeah, and I was a teacher for 10 years in a master's program in New York City, so you sort of get what you give to people. When I was in high school, I had a director who was a teacher who sort of set the bar for me and said, if you want to be a professional, you should go to this school, this school, this school, and I got into them and I did it, and I still remember that. And I've had students that I've had come back to me and say, you said this to me and you were right, and thank you for giving me all of that. So you, by the way, are a hero, so thank you.
Jeff? Mr. Peterson, I think he was my American government teacher in high school, and he was really just a great teacher. Held forth in a beautiful way and made history and politics and come alive. And I still have a book that he gave to me. I went to a high school reunion. I said, I remember that book, and he said, I'll bring you one tomorrow. And so I have it in my library. It was like the seven fallacies of logic. And I go to that book all the time. And I look through it. It's how people use, faulty logic to convince people. And every time I watch a commercial, I go, yeah, okay, the glittering generality. Okay, there it is. All of these things, new and improved, all of these techniques that they use to sway you. So, Mr. Peterson.
There you go.
Alvin Twitchell Gould, a Downeaster, changed my life, made my life, gave me my direction and my profession. He was a great man.
Bob?
I was heavily dyslexic, and I had a really hard time in grammar school, and every history teacher I had was just brilliant with me. I don't know if it was my luck to have that. And then an English teacher touched my soul in high school.
Did she get arrested?
It was a guy.
Did he get arrested?
He should have, no. He taught me how to go wild, and I've been going wild ever since, by teaching me and making me memorize the Jabberwocky. 'Twas brillig in the sky, the tones, the guiding in the wave on Lindsay where the bottle grows on the moon blasts. I won't do the whole thing. And I just loved what he did. It was Mr. Erickson, and he was a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant man. And Peter Boyden in acting too. Peter Boyden.
Gary?
I had two great influences now that I think about it. And growing up, I had asthma and I was sick a lot and missed a lot of school. But I was a pretty decent student, and when I came back to school, I always had a lot of homework to make up for, and they just laid it on, and I did all the homework and ended up doing very well in school. And I was impressed by my sixth grade teacher, who would also come out at recess and throw passes. He would play quarterback for whoever had the ball, and he would throw these beautiful passes, long spiral passes, and I was very fast, and I would catch the ball more often than not, and developed great speed and to become a great receiver for passes, and he just encouraged me. Maybe it was because my proclivity, easy for you to say, proclivity for catching passes, but he would take my homework and just give me A's. So I had a lot of encouragement from him. When I got older, lived in high school, I had a teacher named Mr. Horowitz, who he would have us submit short stories and whatnot, and occasionally he would pick one and read to class, and never announce who it was. And more often than not, it was my short stories that he would read, so I knew that he had read it, obviously, and was singling me out, though he never gave me credit for it, but I didn't know. I didn't care. I just had such a boost of confidence to become a writer. So I've been writing ever since, and he helped make me a better writer. So I'm stuck with that talent. I'm a writer.
Vaughn?
The teacher that did the most to influence me was named Billy Daniels. She was my high school drama teacher, and she taught me discipline, of which I had very little when I first got in that class. You said you missed a lot of school for doing what? I was going to the beach, and just kind of a rowdy guy, and she took me aside once and said, look, these things you're doing out here, those are the things that will get you kicked out of this class. If you want to be serious about what you're doing, you've got to pay attention. You've got to have discipline. My mother didn't quite know how to do that. She was about 5'2", and by the time I was 14, I was 200 pounds and 6 feet tall. So she'd tell me to do something. I said, oh, Mom, I'll see you. I'm going to the beach. And Billy'd hear about that. And she said, no, no, no. You don't talk to your parents that way. You do it right or get out. So I remembered all that. And I'm one of the most disciplined workers that I know. In everything that I do, I take great care to do it right. Because of Billy, she kind of saved me. So that was my time.
Thank you for the question, and a big round of applause for all the teachers out there. Yes, over there.
Hi, it's great getting to talk to you all. I had a question for everyone. Is there a favorite type of character that you like to portray?
I'll start. The reluctant hero. Somebody who doesn't expect to be a hero, but he has to do it anyway.
It's a good question. That's a tough question.
That's a tough question. My next role.
Exactly. Give me the next challenge. You know, it's always something different that pulls me in.
Casey, what Casey said, perfect.
Yeah, I have to say, I have to join in with that. The reluctant hero has been Matt Sykes in Indian Nation. Is certainly that. He's a guy who, he's seen a lot, he's been around a lot, and he sort of smacks his head if he sees something going down, but he knows he's not going to let it go down without him getting involved because it's the right thing to do. My character in Robot Jocks was the same way, the unheralded hero. And I love playing those guys because I think that every person here has that deep down inside him, the reluctant hero. When the chips are down and no matter what it costs, you're going to get involved because you just have to do the right thing. And reluctant heroes do the right thing, though they may not want to get involved. So God bless you all for being reluctant heroes out there.
How about you, Vaughn?
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, but I've always said, people ask me what kind of roles I do. Oh, it's my phone. If you'll excuse me for a minute.
It's your agent. He's got a role for you. A reluctant hero. Well, maybe it's your wife, you know.
I've always said I end up playing the bad guy with a heart or the good guy with an edge. You know, one or the other. And you put them all together and you got the guy I like to play.
Oh, the band's coming back
We
up.
have
That
time
must
for-
mean
We
something.
have time for one more question, so we'll take it over here.
This is for Vaughn. I understand from a little birdie that you had a major life event happen in about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I did. I kind of hurt my leg. No, I'm kidding. I had a grandchild 2 weeks ago. Yay! His name is Bo Valentine Armstrong. Let's hear it for little Bo. Thank you for that question. Great.
Let's hear it for all of these guys. Casey, Jeff, Andy, Bob, Gary, and Vaughn.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you guys